Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a motorcycle racing TV show, Team Chicago Challenge. My email is teamdan45@gmail.com. The website is teamchicago.tv. We're at Rosemont, Illinois. We're here for the Corvette Muscle Car Corvette National right here in Rosemont, Illinois. And I'm going to look at some great newer cars, some older cars. My Studebaker friends, that's a great story, so we're going to try to mix it up. I'm looking at some of the other cars, and I think you'll enjoy this car show from Rosemont, Muscle Car Corvette.
Before I walked into the Grand Hall, in the lobby I spot this Model T Ford and this display that looks like a model on the floor. We're looking at what is laid out next to the full-size Model T, and on this model size, the car is not there yet because the person isn't there. But this was a Revell kit, I believe, and I remember building a Model T with the AMT model kit. That's what we did when we were kids. Back in the late 50s and early 60s, we built model cars. There was AMT, there was Monogram, and there was Revell. And now we're looking at a 1953 Studebaker Champion Starliner. This is the same car that my dad owned, and that when I was 14 years old, he let me drive this car. The one we had only had a 6-cylinder and 3 on the tree, but I got to drive it in LaBelle Woods, and it was a car just like this, except it had a light blue body with a dark blue top, not this great looking black 53. Now we're looking at a 63 Studebaker Lark, high performance car, drag race car, and I had a chance to talk to the owner, and he's going to tell us about this supercharged Lark.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gradle from Centerville, Virginia. I'd like to tell you about my car. This is a 1963 Lark Daytona convertible. They made 5 of these with the high performance package, which includes a supercharged engine, a 4-speed transmission, disc brakes, larger traction bars, and some other features like that. What's interesting here is that the dealership in Indianapolis called Childers, you can see it on the door right here, special ordered this specifically for drag racing to promote their dealership. And so the salesman by the name of Jim Franklin ordered this himself and took it to Indianapolis Raceway Park in mid to late 63 and in early 1964. So it was drag raced for a couple years, and he owned it for about 4 or 5 years and then sold it along the way. I ended up acquiring it in 1982, so I've had it almost 40 years now and have enjoyed every minute of it.
So do you drive it? I mean, is this a driver or is it?
Yeah, this paint is actually from when it was painted back in the early 70s. So it's over 50 years old at this point. And so it's just in the right patina that I don't have to worry about a stone chip or a nick. Although I'm not happy about that, I'm not too concerned about it because I can get in and enjoy the car as it is.
So is it a fast car?
It's very, very fast. Yeah. Yes, it's very, very quick. It has a scatter shield still over the clutch that was a requirement for drag racing back in the day. That's still in place. It has aftermarket traction bars, which the dealership added. And so those enhance the performance of the car.
Thank you, Jeff. And he's even got the proper cheater slicks on the back. The rear wheels were painted black back in the days, and the front wheels were painted white. Right next to this Lark is a 1964 Studebaker Gran Turismo Hawk. And I had a chance to talk to the owner of this supercharged car, Justin Laird.
My name is Justin Laird, and I'm here with my 1964 Studebaker Gran Turismo Hawk. This is a R2 supercharged engine. It is automatic, power shift car. The color is Green Horizon, and it's the only one that they made this color of the supercharged cars. I think there were 70 made total in that year, and this is the only one that's this color and this combination. I've owned the car about 5 years. I'm the second owner. The original owner bought it in Los Angeles, in Pomona, kept it there, passed away in '97. It was stored at that time and shipped to his daughter in Indiana. A friend of mine who lives in Indiana called me and told me about the car and suggested I might want to come out and look at it. I did, fell in love with it. Funny enough, he said, "You'll like the car, but it's green." And I couldn't wait to see it because I in fact love green, and I love the interior and everything about it. So it's a special car to me, and I'm very happy to be here to present it.
Thank you, Justin. And I happened to be there when the Studebaker Museum trailer showed up with these great-looking graphics showing how these cars were designed, laid out, drawn out, measured. 1953s and 55s, probably the most aerodynamic cars at that time, as we see Andy Beckman from the museum backing out this 1963 Avanti from the museum. Maybe it's one of the first ones manufactured, I'm not sure, but it has the round headlights, and that would be 1963 Avanti. But the showstopper of the day is this R3 Avanti, one of the cars that went to Bonneville that was there when they set the land speed record and a great number of other records, but the number 8 car is probably the most photographed car. Not the car that set the land speed record, but this one was just as fast as the number 9 car, which was painted gold. And I had the opportunity to talk to the owner of this car, Gary Wood.
My name is Gary Wood. I'm going to show you one of the Bonneville Studebaker Avantis. Dan's going to give you more information on them, but this is one of the actual cars. It had been, I bought it about 8 years ago. It had been hidden away for about 25 years. The engine was apart. The fellow got sick and wanted to sell it. And I was this lucky. I was the first person he talked to, and I went over and I bought it. That right. Yeah.
So he finally decided to sell it to you?
Well, he was sick,
right,
and decided he was going to sell the car. And the engine was apart, and he was not even in the club. He had somebody else posted on the forum. It was not advertised. They said the Bonneville car has been hidden, is for sale. I don't think I was the first person to call, but I think I was the first person he returned the call to. And I was so honest to him. He didn't know what it was worth, and I just started telling him that, it was fairly valuable. I said, the engine's worth quite a bit of money, the wheels are worth money, an Avanti's worth money, and you have a Bonneville car, and that's pretty good. So I think I partly got it because I was so honest. I wasn't trying to steal it.
You're willing to negotiate honestly.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So how much work did you have to put into it after you bought it?
Okay. The engine was apart, so I put the engine back together. That took quite a bit of work. The R3s are finicky. Head gaskets were a problem.
Because it's a bored out
Yeah, it's
engine,
bored out. Yes.
so you have to have the right head gasket.
Yes, and
Right.
we went through 3 sets of head gaskets, and finally the third set sealed up. I had to redo the interior because there's some kind of a history on this car that the first owner that bought it from the Granatellis traded it into Avanti Motors at South Bend, who started reproducing Avantis. This is, the 63s had the two-tone interior. Avanti Motors had, what they would do is take in used cars, kind of update them. So they went with a single all-black interior. So that was not right. And I actually, and it's basically the side panels and the back panel. So I actually had those reproduced in the correct colors. Seats are all original. But that was early in the history. Actually, Avanti Motors also took out the roll cage and sold it. And that was gone for years. I had not found the roll cage, but a previous owner had found the roll cage. That was at Bonneville. I don't know, I'm probably the 4th or 5th owner. So I was just happy to bring it back and make the history. It did run at salt flats. This one did not set the records, but it was like in this picture here, it was used in all the champion ads for all the records. And they actually, all the magazine articles of Granatelli's effort show this interior. Because the experimental car was a prototype car. The interior was not anywhere near stock. So they shot this picture for all magazine articles.
So do you get to drive it? Do you get to drive it?
Oh yeah.
So it's a nice car to drive?
I'm a little afraid to push it hard. It's so valuable.
Right,
but
right.
It is a very powerful engine. It's 304.5 cubic inches. They put out like 430 horsepower.
Right.
And the
So it's got the good cams and everything.
Oh,
This
yeah.
has got all the good stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. High output blower. Very large. These are special heads on the R3. The valves are a lot bigger, better flowing heads, higher compression ratio. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it puts out about 430 horsepower out of a 304.
Thank you, Gary. Now let's take a look at the promotional film put out by Studebaker.
This is the Great Salt Flats at Bonneville, Utah. An eerie valley where men and machines pursue the elusive goal of world speed records. A Bonneville record breaker. The star of this big effort to clean the slate of stock car speed records is Studebaker's sleek new Avanti from the design studio of Raymond Loewy, built by the craftsmen at Studebaker, skilled vehicle engineers for 111 years. These record assaults are the final tests of the car's safety features. They are far more rigorous than anything possible at factory proving grounds. Here at Bonneville, you never run out of road. In brief bursts at full throttle, this production car will hurtle down the salt at more than 172 miles an hour. These speeds subject engine, driveline, and chassis parts to forces far beyond their normal design functions. 3 cars were hauled across 2 states for these tests. One is a practice car, one is in reserve, and the third is the finely tuned but factory stock machine. The man in command of this most exhaustive speed test in passenger car history is Andy Granatelli, veteran of nearly a score of years of racing. His feats range from the roaring oval at Indianapolis to this strangest of all racing sites at Bonneville. Andy, at 38, has made precision his watchword in a career that has brought him to the status of corporation executive. Fuel, strictly pump variety, the proper tires, and everlasting checking and rechecking of every item on the car contribute to safety, which is the first consideration of such projects. Other men are busy with preparations of an official nature on this fateful day. The crack timing crew of the U.S. Auto Club are making last checks on their electronic timers as Andy signals he's ready to start writing new pages in the record books. There's the green flag. That's green for go. And the muted scream of the little 299 cubic inch engine bounces back from the sheer rock walls of the surrounding mountain. Timers call the speeds over two-way radios, and the car is rolling well past the 150 mile per hour mark. Andy pulls out every stop. This car, smaller than record holders it will outrun, is clicking through the timing traps at sensational speeds, which are checked and rechecked by this crew, which has backstopped Granatelli over every foot he drives out on that blazing white salt speedway. The records tumble one by one as Andy pours on the coal. He hits the big one, 168.24 miles per hour over the measured kilometer from a flying start. This is almost 15 miles an hour faster than the old record set here just a few days ago by the former American stock car record holder. The Avanti is actually running in Class C because of engine size. But so fast is Granatelli's pace that he bags the unlimited stock car records as well. The mile flies by at 168.15 miles an hour, and the big ones that the crew has eagerly awaited are in the bag. The 10-mile records, both flying and standing, fall to Andy and his crewmen. And so the job is done. After 12 long hours of driving, checking, and driving again, day and night, at dusk and at dawn, Avanti now holds 29 new records, 9 of them national class records, 10 of them American stock unlimited class records, and 10 of them American Class C stock car records. There is no hilarious celebration as the salt-crusted car pulls into the pits. For this task of vehicle testing is workaday stuff for Andy and his pit crew. The accomplishment is great, and Andy Granatelli, the man behind the wheel of the nation's fastest production car, is quietly happy today on the vast salt flat of Bonneville, Utah.
Gary Wood owns that car in that film. The car that was filmed at the Bonneville Salt Flats, maybe the priceless car, the most priceless car in this entire show, the muscle car and Corvette National at Rosemont, Donald Stevens Center. What a great story and a great automobile. And now I spot a lovely young lady who drag races, and she's by the Studebaker Lark, and I had a chance to talk to her.
Hi, my name is Adrianna Strab. I am from Michigan, north of Grand Rapids. I am here at the Muscle Car Corvette Nationals with my family. We brought 3 cars. My car is a '69 Dodge Dart. My mom brought her car, which is a yellow Super Bee, and my sister, who is 16 years old, she brought her Demon, and that is orange as well. We all drag race, and we're here in the pure stock muscle car drag race section. It is an honor to be here today.
So there's 2 drag strips right in the Grand Rapids area. Which one is your favorite?
It is.
Name the 2 of them. One is south of Grand Rapids. What's the one on 131?
It's in Stanton.
Right.
So there's a 131, and then that is in Martin, and we also drag race in the pure stocks, which is in Stanton.
Right. Okay. So what's your best time? Tell me about
my best
what
time,
class you run and.
So my best time is, I'm trying to think. My best time would be 13.46, I believe. That was as of this year in the pure stocks. It was the second day. We were warming up, and it was a perfect cool day. I was very lucky to run trials. I did run all my races that day. It was very, very honored and well appreciated because of all the hard work of that day with the issues we had bringing the car to the track. It was amazing feel at the end of the day.
So who does all the work on your cars?
It would be my uncle and my father.
So they're the real car guys, and they let you.
Yes,
you get to enjoy their hard work.
Yes, my uncle and my dad brought me into this hobby, and as well as my grandpa. The car I drag race today is my grandpa's car. He originally owned this car before I did. There is a lot of history behind the car. It is very sentimental to the family, and we appreciate the car, and we don't plan on giving it up because there's just so much memories behind it. I used to sit in the back of the car with my grandpa, and he used to take me out to the ice cream shop. He would take me out for rides in it. It was very, very sentimental in our family, and he ended up giving up his hobby for my dad and my uncle to pursue theirs. And when he passed away, and the guy he ended up passing away that he sold it to, the family reached out and asked if he would like it back. And I could not pass up the opportunity. So it's now here back in the family, and we're very appreciated and grateful to have it here with us.
Thank you, Adrianna, for that great story. And now we're looking at some 1957 Chevy little toy cars, motorized probably, that the Shriners use. But I thought all the Shriners rode motorcycles with hot dog. But I guess some have mini 57s. And now this is a very unique 1957 Chevy that is fuel injected. It is a four-door hardtop, all black. Now I should point out that the first car that I bought for $200 was 1957 four-door hardtop with a 283. It was painted gold, and I had that car until I bought my '63 Chevy Super Sport. This car is very unique. It's a four-door hardtop. Original miles on this is 46,000 miles. Power windows, brakes, seats. And the only 57 sport sedan with fuel injection that they know exists. And the sticker price, now pay attention to this, is $4,671. Quite an expensive car, but it does have the fuel injection. Now this is probably the same fuel injection system that they put on the 1957 Corvettes. A very unique 1957 Chevy. Not what I own. This is really a very special car. And now we're looking at a 1957 Corvette, fuel injected. They only had 283s, I believe, in 1957. They had 265s in 1965. They didn't come out with the 327, I think, until 1962, if I'm not mistaken. As we look at this line of Corvettes, you can see this is either a 56 or 57 because it's got the single headlights. And now we're looking at a 327, 1963, I believe, but this is a convertible. I think this is a 63 Stingray. The most valuable 63 Stingray is the coupe with the split window. And I did not see any split window 63 coupes at the show. But the show is called the Muscle Car and Corvette Show. So I figured it's important that I show some beautiful Corvettes. And a good number of these cars are being judged as 100% pure cars, meaning the car looks like and is exactly the way it was when it came out of the dealer showroom in whatever year it was built. I'm seeing a few 1968, 69 Corvettes back here. But like I stated before, I didn't get to talk to any of the owners. And I spot this window sticker on a 1967 Corvette, $5,779.40. It's got the 390 horsepower V8 option, which means it came with this 427 V8. The reason the air cleaner in that is off this vehicle is because this vehicle is being inspected for originality. It's very important to these owners that they have accurate, original looking Corvettes. So there is competition going on at this event. We see some of the judges, some of the owners. It was a great day to be in Rosemont, Illinois. For more information on the Muscle Car and Corvette National, their website is mcacn.com. I had a great time at this show, and I hope you learned, like I learned, quite a bit. Contact me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. I love to hear from my audience. Remember, you can always search on YouTube or Rumble for more Team Chicago info. I highly encourage you to visit the World of Motorcycle Museum off Indiana 39. It's in Winnemac, but it's 4 miles south of North Judson. Give them a call first at 574-896-3172. It's a great collection of motorcycles and a great trip.